John Singleton Copley was an American artist who would later immigrate to England, and this tells you that he's going to be a loyalist, not terribly popular in America following the Revolution or even during the Revolution. And what he's going to do is he's going to absorb the prominently English style, especially when he moves back to England. Now, the piece we're looking at is going to be the portrait of Paul Revere, and a little bit earlier in Copley's career. The piece is executed before the artist left Boston. And what we see is, well, we get a sense of directness and faithfulness to visual fact that reflects the honesty and plainness common in American art of this period. Not showy, rather more Puritan. In this picture, Revere has yet to play the role that he's going to in the Revolution. He's being depicted as a silversmith and craftsman, not as a revolutionary hero. The portrait is informal, but technically powerful, as Copley spends a great deal of time on, for example, the reflections that we see throughout the portrait. The eyes become a focus through the lighting surrounding them and the position of the subject's hand, drawing us up to those eyes, as if we can look into his spirit, into his soul. The image shows Revere contemplating his next move on the work, almost interrupted by the viewer, and we can tell from the tools on the table that he's doing some etching on what is presumably a silver or silver plate tea kettle. Now, the emphasis on the sitter's down-to-earth character differentiates American work from its European counterparts. Whereas Lord Heathfield is shown with nobility and grandeur as greater than the common man, Revere is being depicted as, well, one of us. He's being depicted as an artisan and nothing more. He has none of the trappings of wealth that we might otherwise expect. We have a high polished table surface that he's working at. We have the idea of light on his head. Again, that idea of intellect, but also drawing us into the image, using the hand and the white shirt to move us around until we get to the tea kettle, which is his work, looking at those reflections of his fingers in the kettle, as well as the reflections of his tools on the table. It's a very simple image, and yet technically incredibly difficult, and probably at an equal level to that of Joshua Reynolds with Lord Heathfield, or any of the other artists that we've looked at up until this point.